Hello, I'm James and thanks for joining me on Kalkine TV for the ASX buzzing stocks of the day. After a good night on Wall Street, Australian shares have lifted in early trades. The ASX 200 index put on 0.8% in the first 10 minutes of trade, with all sectors in the green. Big banks were higher, while higher iron ore prices again boosted big miners. BHP and Fortescue Metals were up nearly 1% at the open. Real estate firms, healthcare, industrials and consumer staples were also doing a strong performance. Investment manager Pendal, up by 0.5%, says the Supreme Court has approved its takeover by financial firm Perpetual. Perpetual shares rose by 0.4%. Pendal shares will be suspended by the close of trade today. MA Financial tumbled 3.6% after downgrading its earnings guidance. Gold miner Gold Road Resources, down 2.7%, says its Gruyere mine in Western Australia saw a drop in production from the September to December quarters. Other gold miners, De Grey Mining, fell 2.7% and Perseus Mining tumbled by 2.2%. At the market open, copper miner Sandfire Resources was the best performer at 3.6%. Whitehaven Coal, down by 5.7%, was the worst performer on the ASX 200. Let's now focus in on some business news coming out of the morning session. Perpetual's acquisition of Pendal is now legally effective. The quotation of Pendal shares on the ASX will be suspended from the close of trading today, and the implementation of the scheme of arrangement will likely take place on the 23rd of January. Moving on, and MA Financial expects underlying earnings per share for the 2022 financial year to be between 38 and 38.5 cents, up 28% to 30% in the financial year of 2021. MA Financial said earnings per share had been impacted by the completion timing of multiple corporate advisory transactions that have been largely completed in 2022 but are expected to close in the first quarter of 2023. These transactions represent around $5 million in revenue, or EPS of 1.1%. I should say, in revenue or EPS of 1.1 cent. And lastly, software business Integrated Research has warned that cost pressures from salaries and travel will limit its profit margins, with expectations for operating income to grow between 15% and 30% over the first half of the financial year for 2023 versus the prior half-year period. It expects pro forma revenue to finish between $36 million and $39 million, down 5% to 12% on the previous year's period. Alright, that's all for this edition of the ASX Buzzing Stocks of the Day. Another episode is coming your way tomorrow, but until then, make sure to keep it locked here on Kalkine TV for the latest market insights and business news. I'm James, signing off for now.